What's up, everybody? We're grinding. What's up, Bodman? What's up, Eclipse? Yeah. Hold on a second. Let me get this popping real quick. Yeah. What's up? What's up? How's everybody doing today? Dude, you guys should be off. You guys should be off. Enjoying your free time. Yeah. Cool. You guys know the drill. That's my email. If you guys want to hit me up, you can. Keep me busy. Keep me busy during winter break. Just spoke with a college advisor and everything. He freaked me out, saying if I want a chance, I need to start a nonprofit. Dude, thanks, Badman. Yeah, about college admissions, right? It's like, what do you need to like solve world hunger to get into Harvard? Is that what you have to do? Be like a famous celebrity that solves world hunger and has like 1 million followers on Instagram? That's what it kind of seems like. Honestly, it's what it kind of seems like. But really, that's the advice they give you because they can't tell you to be smarter. They can't say, oh, you need to get your grades up and you need to get a better SAT score. But the SAT score is something you could study for. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I mean, definitely be freaked out. But at the same time, there's stuff that you can do other than, you know, extracurricular activities. You know, keep in mind that the SAT is like 1/3 of your admissions. So you have to make sure that that's like legit. Can't fit. Oh, that's cool, Hong. Well, good to see you, bro. All right, so I do have some stuff I want to talk to you guys about today. Let me get the music down a little bit. I got some stuff that I want to talk to you guys about today. I prepped another passage for grammar, but I really tried to make this hard. Now, I only did it this morning, so it's not like it's gonna be like a real, like actual 10 out of 10 difficulty SAT, but I did try to make it pretty hard. So we're gonna go over some like ground rule, kind of like some original stuff, just to make sure that you guys are all on the same page, so that when we head into the passage, you guys are good to go. So in light of that, this is what I want to talk about first. You guys have seen this in the past few streams, but it is super important because the writing section is 1/2 of the verbal section. And I think that you can get a perfect on it. Honestly, I think it's hard, but this is one of those sections that you really, really can improve your score fast. So notice that there's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 categories. 5 categories that a problem can fit in. Now there's a 6th category that I have not yet talked about yet, and those are actual questions, where you guys are used to seeing something like this, where you have like a paragraph, and then you have the number 9 and 4 choices, and you need to pick the right one that fixes the mistake. They don't tell you what mistake they're trying to fix, right? You have to figure it out. And the mistake that it will belong to is going to be in one of these 5 categories. Now, sometimes they ask you specific questions. They ask you actual questions on the SAT. So I want to show you how that's done because there will be stuff like that in the drill that we're doing today. Also, if you don't have it already, grab some paper and grab a pen because there's 11 questions you're going to need. So I'll remind you of that later too. So the very first thing that we're going to talk about are these specific questions. So let me put a problem together really quick so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Dude, I didn't realize I was doing it in all caps. All right. It's not like that. Oh my gosh, what just happened? All right. All right, come on. Come on. Oh no, we're having some there we go. What? Okay, hold on. Hold on 1 second, guys. This is all according to plan. Yeah, this is all going according to plan. So just hold on 1 second. There we go. Oh, that's fine. I'll do that. And I'll send you back. Whoops. I, this is normally not as bad as it normally is. I'm trying to edit this text and it really won't let me anymore, which is kind of tragic. Hold on. Edit. No. Edit. All right, I'm just gonna need a new text box. You can't stay in the past, guys. You really can't. You have to like push forward to the future, and that's exactly what we're doing today. Where is that thing? Whatever. We're just gonna cruise. You can't stop me, bro. You cannot stop. Oh, there it is. Finally. All right, technical difficulty. I apologize for the technical difficulty. I'm such a boomer in that way with Microsoft Word. Microsoft Word. Why aren't you better? So let's go into the sentence and let's go into the specific kind of like questions that they have. So let me make a paragraph that's not in all caps. Um, uh, oops. Okay, so there is the kind of the rudimentary passage, right? You can start getting an idea of what I might be asking you or what the idea is behind the passage. And then they'll ask you something like this, where they'll say, um, okay. So I know it says number 4 in the question and it says number 9 here. I guess I could change that. So what they're asking you is a very specific question. In this instance, what I'm asking you is, should the author insert a piece of information or not? So I guess that's my examples to you. And the results or the answer choices are going to be yes, yes, no, no. So I should probably simulate that as well. Um, so it could be something as easy as, whoops. All right. All right. So if you stuck around, I don't know why this took me like 25 years to get this actually going. I think it's because I have so much other work on this page. There's a lot of other things going on that the Word document that you guys will soon see because I did prep for today. All right. So ignore this independence being misspelled. I guess my question to you guys is, what is the answer to this? What is the answer to this question? Okay, boomer. Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, can't say for the stream. That's okay. Sup? What's up, Tony? C. Okay, so people are on C on this one. I don't know why it isn't doing this right here. All right, so people are on C on this one, right? Very obvious, cool. I didn't want to spend an entire session on these types of questions. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I didn't want to spend an entire session on these questions because you just have to follow the directions. And you have to keep in mind, what are the topics the paragraph is talking about? What message is the paragraph trying to get across? And is this relevant or is this not relevant? Now, they may ask you other things that'll kind of bleed into those 5 categories I showed you guys earlier. So they may ask you like, how do you best combine these 2 sentences using punctuation? That's kind of a punctuation question. They generally tell you what they're doing. So those are those types of questions. And then the only last thing that we need to talk about before we jump into our drill today is this last thing is on the list here, at least, is this, oh, it's locked. I can't move it. I can't move it. All right, chill. So the last thing that we need to talk about before we jump in is pronouns. We haven't really talked about pronouns, and we haven't really talked about punctuation. Punctuation is going to be its own day, but pronouns, you have to make sure the number matches. Duh. If you say a girl went to the store, you would not then say they. You would say she. The second thing that needs to be matched, or that needs to be there, is that it can't be vague, right? So if I say John and Sarah, I can't, or I'm saying John and Jason, and he's a nice guy, that's vague. I don't know which he we're referring to. So that's the second thing with pronouns. And the last thing is subject versus object. And to check that, use the word I and me. Me is an object. You would never say me run. That's a noun and a verb. You would say I run, but you would say give it to me. You wouldn't say give it to I. So that's the last thing you need to check for pronouns, but that's it. We've talked about transitions, which is the relationship between sentences or paragraphs. We talked about verb, tense, number, and parallelism. And we talked about word choice, redundancy, parallelism, misplaced modifier, faulty comparisons, idioms, and commonly confused words. So yeah, Logitech is a good keyboard. Yeah, it's pretty good so far. I've had it for like a week. So, good question, Leo. What we're going to do today. Where's my hype music? Okay, I'll take that. What are we going to do today? We are going to do a grammar passage together. So, what do you need to do? You need to A, have fun. B, you need to go and get a piece of paper or a napkin or your hand or whatever. And you need to label 1 through 11 on the piece of paper. Because I'm not going to write down your answers for you, bro. You're going to have to do that, or you just remember. But remembering is tough, to be honest. So, get your piece of paper, get your pen, get prepared mentally, physically, get prepared emotionally. And let me know when you're ready. Because I'm ready. I'm ready to start. Nice, Chris. I'm loving it too, man. What a time to be alive. You just gotta love it. You just gotta love what you do, man. You didn't do commonly confused words. That's true, Venna. I did include it. I just mentioned it at the very end of the stream. But there's a list. You know what I mean? Like illusion and allusion. 2 different things. Illusion is something that isn't real, and allusion is when you are referring to like a story or a tale or something like that. All right, cool. So let me know when you guys get your paper. Shad's ready. Shad is ready. Venna, ready. I feel like this is like a Star Fox, or this is like a Power Rangers. you guys are assembling. All right, let me make sure this is actually looking really good. Yeah, it is looking really good. All right. All right. Oh, that's why. I finally see why I was having those formatting issues, bros. I'm like going back and I'm like, oh, you dummy. But hey, we're just having fun, guys. We're just having fun. Nothing wrong with that. Oh my god. Some really bad formatting issues. Hold on, bro. Sorry. Okay, there it is. So you Almost there, bros. Okay. Oh, wow. All right, it's finally happening, guys. All right, cool. All right, who's ready? Shaw's ready, Ben is ready. Leo's always ready. Chris is locked in. All right, boys, girls, everybody out there, all seven of you. Wait, how many are in the stream right now? Yeah, all 6 of you. Okay, we're gonna do it though. We're gonna go through this. All right, let me get serious with you guys. Let me get serious. I'm no more beats, okay? We're getting serious here. Serious time. Guys, you are going to have 45 seconds a question. What does that mean? You see this clock here? Halfway is when I will be releasing a new question. I'm not going to say anything because I think the delay kind of messed me up last time. But when this gets halfway, when that clock up there gets halfway, I'm going to open the next question. So you can't really move on early, but I'm trying to get you guys in a 45-second pace. So every 45 seconds, I will be revealing a new question to try to get you on pace. All right, bruh, get ready. You have never seen this anywhere else because I just wrote this. So I don't want anybody to be like, oh, I saw this in a book. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. So are you guys ready? Let's begin. Last question on the page. Okay, select an answer. We're going to be moving on to the next page. Right, there's number 7. Number 8. What's up, Pierre? Just doing some grammar, bro. Number 9. Number 10. Last one on the page. Okay, last question. Number 11. Whoops. I'll give you extra time. Number 11. Let's get it. Okay, that is time. That is time, my guys. That pace is unrelenting. And I should probably, or I mean, it's worth saying that, yeah, I mean, it's supposed to be 45 seconds on average. Some are going to take shorter, some are going to take longer. I tried to keep as many questions on the page as I could. But the most important thing is understanding how fast you need to go. So, you guys put down your answers into the chat or whatever, and we will go over it. We will go over it in just a second. Just let me run an errand real quick. I'll put on some tracks so you guys can kick it. But yeah, try to get your answers together, and we'll go over it in like 2 seconds. Okay, so where's the bang bang? Okay, so what do you guys think of that passage? Really quick, before we go over the answers and before you can see what you got right and what you got wrong, I'm kind of interested what you guys thought about the passage in general, what you thought about the questions. Were they hard, they easy? Because this type of feedback is super helpful for me. It helps me out a lot to know how you guys thought about it. Just so I can either make my Leo, either so I can make my material harder or I can make it easier. I think this was right on. I thought it was pretty difficult, but I'm also interested to see what you guys thought as well, more importantly than what I thought. So yeah, let me know how that went for you, and then we will go over these. We will talk about them. I'm interested to see how you guys did. Yeah. What's up, Zach? Yeah. Okay. Cool. Thanks for the feedback, Chris. Thank you for the feedback, Leo. Oh, don't say that, Benna. Maybe you did great. Maybe you're a superstar and you don't even know it. But once we go through the answers, if you got them all wrong, then you can be depressed. I'm just not good, so... Well, dude, that's how you get good. Trust, dude. I'll be legit. Like, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, I was just okay with grammar. But when I started this page, I was like, well, if I do a grammar video, it has to be right. So I, like, learned grammar just for this YouTube. And I was so bad at grammar, but now I'm, like, legendary. Which is just a kind of an anecdote to show you that you can too. If you can learn math, if you can learn reading, you can learn grammar. So let's go over these answers. Let's see how you guys did. I hope you guys did good. I really hope you guys did good, but you know, it's not about that. It's about having fun and having fun with your friends. So number one, do you guys hear that? There's like a bomber that just like flew over my apartment or something. You guys hear that? It's like so loud. Huh. All right, so the Roman architectural revolution is touted by scholars as a turning point in the history of construction. All right, we can skip all of that and we just go straight to number one. Let's kick it. Concrete, strong and able to take any shape, solved these drawbacks, and a renaissance of architecture came forth. Okay, the first thing we do is we go to the answer choices. Bruh, we ask ourselves, what is the surface level differences between these answer choices? The only thing I'm noticing is that the punctuation is changing. Therefore, we are dealing with a punctuation question. Therefore, we have to break down the sentence for sentence structure. See, it's like so easy, right? So let's break this down for sentence structure. Concrete, comma. All right. Strong and able to take any shape. All right. So right now this is surrounded by commas here. And so we can kind of assume that it's a non-essential modifier. So what happens if we take it out? Concrete solved these drawbacks. All right. That sounds great. That's really great, actually. So I'm cool with that being a non-essential modifier because we can take out strong and able to take any shape simply because it's, you know, it's just describing the concrete. So that comma after shape, right after that number one right here, that's good. That is completing the non-essential modifier. Looking at the answer choices, only one of these completes the non-essential modifier. Now, if you're like, whoa, what if I wanted that to be an essential modifier? There's another thing in this problem. You guys see this and right here? This and right after drawbacks? What's right before the and? I'll take out the non-essential modifier. Concrete solved these drawbacks. Complete sentence. What's after the and? A renaissance of architecture came forth. Complete sentence. So because both of those are complete sentences before and after the and, we need a comma fanboy on here. So D solves all of our problems. It keeps it a non-essential modifier, and it supplies us with that comma fanboy that we needed to be correct. So number 1, the answer is D. What a time to be alive. Yeah. Okay. So number 2, we just go straight to the question. I'm going to look at the question answer choices. It's all different verb tenses. So we know we're dealing with verb tense. We know just looking at this passage, it's written in the past tense. So let's see how it's written as written. Some notable achievements being blah, 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 non-essential modifier, and the famous Colosseum, non-essential modifier. So I probably shouldn't have said blah, 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 but it says right after the 2, it says being the dome over the Pantheon, non-essential modifier, the world's largest unreinforced concrete dome, comma, ending the non-essential modifier, and the famous Colosseum, comma, a non-essential modifier, a massive stadium made almost completely from concrete. So there's no verbs in here. We have a lot of nouns. We have the dome or the Pantheon. We have the famous Colosseum, but they're not doing any verbs. What's our verb in this sentence? Being. An ing verb cannot be the sole verb of the sentence. You can't say John running. That's not a sentence. Now, that could be a response to a question, but John running on its own is not a sentence. Sarah swimming, that's not a sentence. So when we say that notable achievements being, that can't be correct. So we need, the achievements are plural, so we know it needs to be a plural verb. Was is singular, is singular, to is D, were, because that's past tense and it's plural for the achievements. Number 3, additionally, concrete construction ushered in a civilizational advancement in Rome as well. So we go to the answer choices. Well, it looks like we're changing the transition word, but then we get the opportunity to get rid of a transition word completely. So because of that, we can kind of start thinking, well, do we need this transition word? Maybe it's not so much as picking the right transition, but picking the word choice. Do we need a word there? And as you know, word choice has redundancy. Do y'all see the redundancy in sentence 3? You see how I snuck in some redundancy to sentence 3? Additionally, concrete construction ushered in civilizational advancements in Rome as well. Additionally means the same thing as well. So that is redundancy. So the correct answer for 3 is D. So A, 1, 2, and 3 are D, D, D. What a time to be alive. What do you guys think about that? All right, so wait, what was 2 again? Number 2 was D, my guy, because it's a past tense verb and it's plural, and we need the thing to be plural. Number 4, at this point, the author would like to include various examples of how running water was utilized in Rome. Should the author make this addition here? So what's the main point of the paragraph? Well, the main point of the paragraph are building these aqueducts, building them, how they had to build them, how they tapped them, the gravity portion of it, the elevation portion of it. It's all about building and creating these aqueducts. So is it a crime to include the public bathhouses and the pools and whatever that they use the running water for? I mean, it's not a crime, but it's not the main idea of the passage. It's an extra detail, right? So, and then also notice right after number 4, it says they moved water along. If at 4, we insert a sentence that talks about the bathhouses and the sinks and the whatever, and then we use the word that they is going to refer to the bathhouses and to the sinks or whatever. And the bathhouses didn't move the water, the aqueducts did. So that's also something you should be on the lookout for after 4. So the answer to number 4 is A. It disrupts from the main idea of the paragraph, which is the building and construction of the aqueducts, not what they provided to the city of Rome and not the luxury that they provided. Number 5. Let's see, we go straight to the answer choices. They're all verbs. We know it's going to be verb tense, so we're going to look down our list. A lake or river at a higher elevation were, that's past tense. Could have been, no, because they actually were tapped. Are is present tense. So just based on the tense, we know it's going to be either A or B. So now we need to match the number that's in that list of verbs, bro. So it says a lake or river at higher elevation. So would you say to yourself, John or Sally swim? Because I would say they swim, but I would say Joe and Sally swims or swim, right? It's like where would you put the verb, right? So is it singular or is it plural? That's the question. What do you guys put for number 5? I'm very interested. Did you guys think? Did you guys put A for number 5 or B? That is my big question. Let's see. I did see a string earlier. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so Chris has got A, I think, on that one. Yeah, Chris has A. The answer for this one, well, it's kind of tough. Crunchy has A too. Chores, swims at the beach, chores, and to the store, run to the store. I'm probably wrong. B because it says A. Yeah. This is actually a very interesting one. I'm kind of mulling this over in my own head, right? Because it says a lake or river at a higher elevation. Now, a lot of people go, oh, that's two things, a lake or a river, right? But notice it's not a lake and a river, right? It's a lake or a river, right? So if I said I took, it's like a boat or a plane is my mode of transportation, right? You could say a boat or a plane are my modes of transportation. So I'm actually now I'm now getting a little twisted up here. I'm like, whoa, did I convince myself of the wrong answer already? Because the right answer, whenever you have an or, it's a singular item. You would say John or Sally runs to the store for me, right? You wouldn't say John or Sally run to the store for me. So it's a singular thing because it's a lake or a river at higher elevation was often tapped because that's a singular thing. It's going to be one thing or it's going to be the other thing. So it's actually B on the verb tense, number 5. It's was because we're talking about a singular item. Number 6, where possible, the canals were fed. So we're looking at the actual answer choices. We notice that we are changing the words a little bit, so we might need to be on the lookout for that. But I'm noticing a huge change in punctuation. Yeah, exactly, Chris. It's a huge change in punctuation. So because of that, we know we need to break it down for sentence structure. Where possible, the canals were fed into pipes. That is a complete sentence. So we could put a period after it. That were buried beneath the ground. Now, that's not a complete sentence. So that's not looking too good. Our answer choices right now, it looks actually pretty decent. So right now, the way the sentence is built is we have a complete sentence, and then we have a non-essential modifier with the word that, right? So let's just go through the rest of the answer choices and let's talk about them, right? So number B, notice that it says pipes, comma, they were buried. That makes everything after pipes a complete sentence. They were buried beneath the ground. Complete sentence. So because that would make the second part a complete sentence, we can't combine it with a comma. That would need to be a comma fanboy. That would need to be a period. That would need to be a semicolon. So that's wrong. Same thing with, but kind of opposite with C. We have the complete sentence of pipes, period. But then it says buried beneath the ground. That's not a complete sentence. That's just a big verb. So we can't have buried beneath the ground by itself. That's not a complete sentence. Now D, the only difference between A and D is that comma. Here is an exception or a very interesting kind of rule that I've discovered since going through the SAT. Your brain is rigged. So going through the SAT. Non-essential modifiers, they cannot be full sentences. 1. 2, non-essential modifiers cannot have or cannot start with the word which or that. Because if I say the dog that took my bowl, then that's essential, because it's not just the dog, it's the dog that took my bowl. Or the decisions which I made, that's essential. You're connecting it. So the word that actually means that the modifier is essential. So the actual correct answer for number 6 is D, where we don't have a comma and we don't make it a non-essential modifier, thus making it a essential modifier. Number 7, we go to the answer choices and we see it's a specific question. So we have to effectively combine the underlined sentences. Let's look to see what the main subject of the sentence is. The strength of their concrete was also formidable. Because of this strength, many of these bridges withstand today. Guys, the subject of these two sentences is the strength of the concrete. So that needs to be the subject when we combine them. Notice option A, the subject is the concrete. The subject in B is because of this, which would refer to the previous sentence of being able to be shaped into any shape. So that's not the correct subject either. Then C, the formidable strength of their concrete. That is what I wanted, is because many of the bridges still stand to today. What is why many of these bridges still stand today. Whoops, that was supposed to be why. So don't give yourself an L if the because tripped you on C. The formidable strength of their concrete is why many of the bridges still stand today. And D is because of the formidable strength of their concrete, many bridges still stand today. Oh, so that because was purposeful. I'm so sneaky, dude. So the answer for number 7 is actually D. Because of that weird because. The formidable strength of the concrete is because many of the bridges still stand. That's not the reason the concrete's formidable. The strength is the reason the concrete is formidable, not because it stands today. At the time, it was even formidable. So that's why C is wrong, because of that word because. I knew that sounded weird. Yeah, C is wrong because of the word because. That's the wrong relationship between ideas. Because of the formidable strength, many bridges still stand today. That's why the answer to number 7 is D. The answer to number 7 is D. Number 8, the Romans mix... so number 8, the Romans mix their concrete, I don't know why they think they're spelled wrong, using volcanic rock and ash, the crystallization, hold on, let me actually check something. Okay, the crystallization, this was hard, so I built this sentence to try to get you guys, because I knew that the sentence was really difficult. So let's look at number 8, where it says statolingite, and this combining with calcium aluminum silicate hydrate cementing binders gave the Roman concrete strong bonding and fracture resistance. Okay, so what we're looking at in the answer choices here is all the words are the same, but it seems that the punctuation is different. So we know that we're dealing with punctuation, we know we're dealing with sentence structure, so we need to break down this sentence for sentence structure. The Romans mixed their concrete. That is a complete sentence. Now we're going to describe it, and we're going to give the object of the sentence using, I keep losing my place. Using volcanic ash and wrong sentence. The crystallization of stratolingite and this combining with calcium aluminum silicate hydrate cementing binders, I can't even say that, gave the Roman concrete. So right now it's written where this part is non-essential, where this is starting a non-essential phrase. And the non-essential phrase is this combining with calcium aluminum silicate hydrate cementing binders. Now, do you have to know what that means? No, but I do know that it's surrounded by commas and it's being used as a non-essential modifier. So if we take it out, it would say the crystallization of stratolingite and gave the Romans concrete strong bonding. Nah. So that's incorrect. We cannot have it as a non-essential modifier. B, stalagmite and this combining with blah, 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 blah. That looks good because it is the crystallization and the combining. All right, let's go to the next one. Stalagmite combined with calcium, that makes it a non-essential modifier, and that's essential information because it's not just the stratolingite. It's the fact that the stratolingite combines with this other stuff that gave the Roman concrete strong bonding. D is a comma fanboy, and that is incorrect as well. That just adds the word and to it to make it a comma fanboy. So yeah, that's the right answer. Is B. It should read, the crystallization of statolingite and this combining with calcium, aluminum, silicate, hydrate, cementing binders gave the Roman concrete strong bonding. So that's the answer for number 8 is B. Number 9, what? Science. All right, so I'm just checking the chat. You guys are being ridiculous. All right, number 9, it says, where is it? Oh, this is the commonly confused words that Venna was asking about, this word affected. What's the difference between affected and effected? The answer is not inflected and it's not deflected. Which one is the correct effect? Is it affect or is it effect? You guys have to know this difference. The difference between effect and affect is that affect affects something, where effect is a noun and the result of something. So if you are doing something to influence something else, you are attempting to affect it. If the result of one of your actions is something you're pleased with, that is the effect of your actions. So your affectation can have a positive effect. That's kind of what's going on. So when it says it also affected the concrete, that's exactly it. It's influencing the concrete by making it more immune. So the answer to number A, or to number 9 rather, is no change. A. 10. 10 was really tricky. I was really trying to trick you guys with 10. So let's see where it was. Okay, so it also affected the concrete by making it more immune to salt water, as Roman concrete contained a pyroclastic material, which formed a silicate. So that makes it seem like it formed, contained, oh yeah, this makes it seem like it formed past tense, like it no longer formed, that it can't form anymore. You know what I'm saying? But Roman concrete you could still make concrete with pyroclastic materials and they'll form a silicate when introduced to seawater. So it's not like this effect is done or gone. It's still currently happening. So even though it was affected in the past tense, pyroclastic materials will still form a silicate when introduced to seawater. It's more of a fact. So we know we're actually needing to be in the present tense here, or at least in the current tense. So then what we're looking at is between form and forms. That's matching the number, right? And we're talking about pyroclastic materials. So the answer for number 10 is form. And I'll read it out loud. It'll sound great. It also affected the concrete by making it more immune to salt water, as Roman concrete contained pyroclastic materials, which form a silicate when introduced to seawater. Boom. That's it. That's what we're talking about. Great. So then number 11. What a saucy number 11 to end on. What's up, Henry? Last one. In truth, it was the administrative skills and scientific curiosity of the Romans that allowed them to build such great works. True. Now we're going to ask ourselves, because, the sentence before it I should probably read. Not until long after the medieval period, over 1,000 years later, would concrete be used the same way again. Now, should we insert, even though some concrete was used in the late 1600s, it wasn't until the Industrial Revolution that concrete again would be used on a large scale. So notice, it's pretty much a repetition of the previous sentence. Do we get any more information? Not really. It's actually just kind of being slightly more specific than the previous sentence, but it says the exact same thing. So we don't need this addition. So is it because it reiterates an idea already present in the paragraph? Yes. Or does it distract from the main idea? I wouldn't just say it distracted from the main idea, because it does talk about concrete use and comparing it to the Roman times till now, but that's not why it's bad. It's bad because it says the exact same thing as the previous sentence. So the answer to this one and the last question from the passage is C. I tried to go through that as fast as possible. How did you guys do? I'm so interested. Let's throw on whoops, that's my bad. Well, we're happy. It's happening. We're good. So yeah, let's throw on a little bit of backbone there. So what'd you guys think? Am I gonna stream on Christmas? I don't know, man. Maybe. Should I? I mean, I don't think so. I'll probably take Christmas off, but I will be back tomorrow. 6 out of 11. It's all right, bro. All that means is that you need to get better technique. If you're not getting all of them right, that just doesn't mean you can't do it. It just means your technique is bad. And the better your technique gets, the more you could just like a machine pound these out. Bro, if you put a grammar section in front of me, I'm gonna shred it up. 6 out of 11 for Crunchy too. Then a 5 out of 11. Bro, we gotta work on grammar more on my channel. You didn't do it, but you finished 100 questions? Oh, good for you, sorry. When are we doing reading comp? Well, after grammar, my guy. I mean, we might jump back into math just because everybody loves that, but I'm planning on finishing up the grammar section, and then who knows, man, we might do reading comp. That's really hard for me. Like, math is the easiest for me. I could sit here and just make up math problems. Writing is hard. This passage and questions took me 2 hours to make. I know, that's ridiculous. It's only like 500 words and 11 questions, but that took me 2 hours to make. 11 out of 11? Tony, I don't believe you. No way. Are you for real? If true. Big if true. Big if true. For those of you who guys got around 5 or 6, do you have any questions? Did it make sense to you? Is there another one that I can go over again slower to bring you through it? Reading comp's the easiest? Yeah, you sound like somebody who's a good reader though. Do you read books? It's the hardest to prep for. Oh, you're for real. 11 out of 11. Tony, that's legendary, bro. Was this easy for you? I gotta come up with some harder stuff if that's the case. But yeah, I'm interested. I'm interested because, I mean, I have gone over the entirety of the grammar section, but I've gone over it super fast. So I don't expect you guys to be like pros. Yeah, exactly, Tony. If you're not good at reading comp, it's very hard to improve if you're not a reader. And if you don't like reading, very, very hard to improve. The only thing you can really do is what I do for my students is I give them very hard reading passages constantly. I'm like, read this, read this, read this, read this. Don't even answer questions, just read this, just to get them reading more. So that's what I'd recommend, Tony. Pick up a book, bro. Pick up something you like. Read plays? Yeah, that definitely counts, Chris. Absolutely, 100%. Anything on the written page that's not on the internet. Because yeah, you can read like Twitter all day or whatever site you want to go to, but it's not written by authors and it's not one piece, you know, and the internet is mostly written by average people. You want, you know, authors with large vocabularies and interesting sentence structures and, you know, kind of, you know, interesting ideas behind it. That's what you want. So yeah, go pick up a book, bro. Reading Rainbow. I have some recommendations for books if you want to slide into my emails. You're just not used to these type of questions. Yeah, Venna, I feel that, man. But in the back of your mind somewhere, I want you to already start telling yourself that you can get a perfect on this section. The only reason you didn't get a perfect today is because you don't know the technique as well as I do. But all I did was just go through my technique, and like a lawnmower, whatever they put in front of me, I can bust down with that technique. I know I'm kind of beating the nail over the head, or the hammer over the nail, or beating the nail over on the head with, I don't know. I'm beating it to death, but the technique is really important. You just read Antigone? That's a really great one. The SHSAT ELA was hard. Yeah, bro. Get ready. There's a lot of books I recommend. It just depends. I actually, generally, when people ask me for book recommendations, I ask about themselves. Like, what do you like reading? What are things you like? And then I'll give you something in that category. But if I just tell you, oh, you know, you should go read Dune because it's really difficult, go read Dune. You know, it's like, unless you're a dude who's interested in like desert science fiction, you know, like you may not be into that. Yeah, let's get reading, bro. Yeah, but there's a lot of books I can recommend to you depending on where you're at and how much you read and stuff like that. Read Divergent. Yeah, I've heard that's good. I haven't read it myself. But dude, reading anything is, even if it's just like Twilight, you know, something that's not like scholarly, but it's reading. You know what I mean? You just get used to that reading, bro. That's the fastest way to get bigger. Yeah, good job, Henry. Henry always bringing the 300 IQ bants to the chat. What historical fiction book do you recommend? Oh, that's a really good question. Historical fiction. Historical fiction. I don't know if I would recommend historical fiction, but I'll tell you what, I love biographies, bro. I really love biographies. So if you find somebody in history that fascinates you, or you find somebody even in entertainment that fascinates you, read their biography. If you're looking for something a little bit more trying, maybe, I would read A Movable Feast. It's about literary figures in the 1900s in Paris. It's a little difficult, and it's very wordy, especially when he talks about nature. You're reading Legend? I don't know that book. Is that I Am Legend or just Legend? Oh yeah, Ready Player One. Yeah, bro, that was I saw that movie. That was a Steven Spielberg movie. That was awesome, dude. Yeah, that was probably a good recommendation. Yeah, Sorry's on Shakespeare, bro. You're forced to read it. That's rough, bro. Shakespeare is really, really hard language. Unless you like love the language and you're like, I can't wait to figure out what this line means, then you're gonna have a bad time. If you're just trying to get through it just to read it, just so you know what happens and be done with it, it's not fun because the language is just so flowery, bro. Yeah, I recommend A Movable Feast. The speaking of Hemingway, the short stories of Hemingway are all available online. They're all written in the early 1900s, and they're very short, so you can kind of get through them. And I personally think Hemingway's short stories are the best, bro. I forgot it was Monday. Oh, dude, yeah, Tedson, welcome to the chat, Tedson. Yeah, exactly, Shakespeare's Too Big Brain. If you can make through it, dude, if you can get through it and know what they're saying, it's actually fascinating. But the language is so thick and it's so flowery. Like even me now, when I read Shakespeare, I'll read like an entire page and I'll be like, what? Like, wait, what are you talking about? You know, it's like, or you'll read a speech and you're like, why are you talking about your shoes? But really you're like missing something that he's trying to imply. You know what I mean? Yeah. But if you love it, then good for you, bro. That's big brain. Unpopular opinion. I don't like Shakespeare. That is unpopular. But you're allowed. If you really don't like Shakespeare, the one play that I will give you to try to read, Titus Andronicus. It's like the most metal, like hardcore Shakespeare play. Like it has the most amount of deaths in any Shakespeare play. It's like it's super action packed. So I would, and it's one of his first plays. You know, it's like his first blockbuster, his first Michael Bay film, and it's very action packed. Titus Andronicus, that is a good Shakespeare if you haven't read it already. I mean, the plot is so-so, but just some of the stuff in it is really hardcore and really awesome. All right, let me yeah, that's actually really true, sorry. Yeah. So definitely we will move on to reading comp at some point. The most important thing, if you take away anything from our work today, and we'll continue working on grammar because I'm not satisfied that you guys are 5 or 6 out of 11. I'm not going to be satisfied until my chat is 11 out of 11 like Tony. Everybody's got to be up to par here. All right, this is what you got to remember. I know there's only 4 flushed out lists. I could flush out punctuation, but the list is massive, so we're just going to keep it off the list for now. But if you can master these 4 things, the verbs, the pronouns, the transition, the word choice, you're going to be looking very nice. You're going to be looking very, very nice. Now, we do need to work on those specific questions and punctuation, whatever, but... yeah. Let's see. So yeah, I don't think I'm going to be streaming on Christmas. I am going to be bringing you more fresh content tomorrow. More fresh content will be coming tomorrow. More grammar content. Tyler, what do you think about Macbeth? I think it's pretty sick, dude. I think it's a pretty sick play. It's like, again, Shakespeare, so the language is really thick, but it's cool, man. A lot of cool stuff happens, bro. You know, it's the stuff of kings, right? You think you are Macbeth? So who's your lady Macbeth, bro? You don't really want to be Macbeth. He's not like a, you know, you want to be a Titus from Titus Andronicus. You want to be a, you know, a Tybalt from Romeo and Juliet, someone cool. Macbeth's like a push around, dude. His wife is basically running the show. It's not him. The play really should be called Lady Macbeth. See ya, Leo. Yeah, it is the shortest strategy. That is true. All right, guys. I think I am going to duck out of here. I think it's my time. I think it's my time to leave. I think it is. So, guys, it is Christmas season. Remember to be thankful for everything that you have. Remember to hug your family and tell them that you love them. That's so important. It really is. Yeah, nobody. Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, Juliet was dumb. Yeah, I mean, kind of. The whole end scene with the poison, it was like, why? Why do you have to fake being dead? Why not just run off? Why not just run off together? Why do you have to actually fake being dead? Why not just say, oh, they jumped in a river and we can't find their bodies? Why you gotta use a fake poison? You know what I mean? It's just like, then it was all messed up with the letters and stuff. Yeah, what a time to be alive. So, yeah, exactly. Shad gets it. All right, bros. So I am going to duck out of here. I'm going to play a little bit of Call of Duty because that's what I do. But you guys know I'll be back tomorrow. We'll be doing a Christmas special tomorrow. What does that mean? High quality, original content coming your way. I don't steal problems from anybody else. So if you see these problems anywhere else, tell me so I know who's stealing from me. I have seen some of my problems on other YouTube pages, but I'm not going to call them out for now. All right, bros, I'm out of here. I'll see you guys. Really good session today. Any questions, you know where to find me via email. Really good stuff, bros. Bye.